Lena had learned to wait without noticing it. She didn't call it waiting. She called it being careful. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for a sign. Waiting for someone to say it was her turn. Her days moved slowly, too slowly. Each morning felt like the one before, as if her life was always about to begin, but never fully did. Lena wasn't unhappy, but she wasn't fulfilled either. She lived in pause. She watched others move forward. Ordinary people, nothing special about them. They just seemed more willing to decide, even without certainty. Lena, instead, felt she needed permission. Over time, waiting stopped being temporary. It became a habit, and even though she kept moving, one thing was clear. She wasn't walking by choice, but by inertia. The tiredness arrived quietly. It wasn't a crisis. It was a new feeling that stayed. Lena began to notice patterns, how she avoided deciding even when no one asked her to, how she delayed simple things with reasonable excuses, how she said later when she really meant, I'm afraid. There was a path she walked when she needed to move without thinking, a quiet trail away from noise where time felt slower. She walked there without direction, just to keep going. One afternoon, she stopped. Nothing had changed around her, but for the first time, the question was clear. What if no one is coming? It wasn't despair, it was honesty. And that quiet discomfort marked the beginning of change. Sitting by the path, Lena remembered something simple. She had always been careful. Since childhood, she learned to adapt, to watch before speaking, to avoid causing trouble. No one demanded it, it just worked. When she didn't ask for much, everything seemed easier. Over time, this way of being became automatic. She called herself calm, patient, understanding. And she was, but she had also learned not to ask what she wanted. There was no single moment of giving up. There were many small ones, opinions kept quiet, roads not taken, desires left unnamed. The memory didn't bring guilt, it brought clarity. Lena understood that waiting had protected her, but she also realized something else. She no longer needed that protection. That night, Lena returned to the path. She walked as usual, following the rhythm she knew. After a few minutes, she stopped. She looked forward, then back. For years, this had been automatic. Move on, doubt, wait. But this time, she did something different. She bent down and picked up a small stone. She held it for a moment. It wasn't special. Still, she let it fall. Then she stepped slightly off the path. Just one step, enough to change direction. That was the break. Not a revelation, a small action that depended on no one else. Lena began walking again. Different. As night fell, the path grew darker. Before, this would have been the moment to stop, to wait for a light. This time, it wasn't. Ahead, Lena saw the lantern. It had always been there, hanging quietly between the branches. She had never approached it. She stopped in front of it. The lantern didn't light the whole path. It only showed the next step. Before, that wouldn't have been enough. Now, it was. Lena took it gently, not as a victory, but as a decision. She didn't choose a destination. She didn't choose certainty. She chose herself, moving forward. The darkness didn't disappear, but it stopped being a limit. The light moved with her, and that was enough. Lena kept walking. Not faster, not more confident, but present. The path promised nothing. No guarantees, only possible steps. And for the first time, that didn't stop her. She understood that no one was coming to choose her, not because she didn't deserve it, but because it had never been anyone else's task. She didn't leave her past behind. She carried it with her. She didn't find all the answers. She found a way to continue. And as she walked with the lantern in her hand, Lena understood something simple and final. She didn't need to be chosen to walk. She only needed to decide not to stop.